This is the YouTuber Josh Scorcher. He like I said, Josh Scorcher. I cannot pronounce it. Hold on, let me pull up his name real quick. Okay, right here. Yes, Josh Scorcher. That's the name of the YouTuber who put this together. Okay, so he's basically a game reviewer. He mostly does top tens, and this guy's actually really funny. He's really hilarious. I do enjoy his content. This guy is so much of a fan of death battles that he decided to start his own series. And what we're about to witness is the very first episode of that series, Starfire versus Blaze the Cat. And I feel like it's only appropriate that we show this guy some love. Okay, so let's get into it. Okay, logo. Nobody cares.
Blaze the Cat, Princess of the Soul Empire, Protector of Dimensions, and Guardian of the Soul Emeralds.
Starfire, Princess of Tamaran, Liberator of Slaves, and Heart of the Teen Titans.
While most princesses bear the mantle of demure politicians, some passionate sorts like to take a more hands-on approach in defending their realms.
Like these two purple-friendly neighborhood— wait, they're from another planet— fiery heroines.
Now, there are some fair questions as to what we are taking as canon in this. For Starfire, we are considering the main comics, aka Starfire Prime, as our primary source.
But if there are some things in supplemental material, such as in Elseworlds, cartoons, or video games that don't flat out contradict the main series, we're including it.
As for Blaze, as she's originally a video game character, we'll be taking her game appearances as our primary. But as long as there aren't any contradictions, we're also including the side games, IDW comics, and some snippets from Bumblecast as supplements.
So, no, we are not using the Archie Blaze here. Long story short, it actually makes the fight less interesting. He's Josh and I'm Aramau.
And we're here to analyze their powers, abilities, and stats to find out who would win a battle to the death.
Really?
Hey, it's legally distinct.
I like how self-aware they are. They're very self-aware. And by the way, that's husband and wife right there. That's how passionate they are. They're both into this. There are Easter eggs in the battle itself. There's Isabel on the forklift, Ghost Rider and Spawn watching on the background, and the ending is similar to one of the Doom promotional arts. Wow, really? I did not notice those details at all, Hydra. I didn't notice those details at all. Thank you for pointing this out to me.
Beyond the stars lies an alien planet of humanoids, born with incredible strength and the inherent ability to absorb energy emitted from the sun and soar through the skies of their home. From this world, a savior, powerful and pure of heart, would arrive on our own planet, always holding back their immense strength for fear of hurting the innocent. Eventually, they would become a shining beacon of hope for the people of Earth. That's right. We're talking about
Princess Coriander of Tamaran. Cori, hey, that's our dog's name, was the second child of 3 siblings of Tamaran's royal family.
Coriander, that's a real name. That's hilarious. And Colmander, what kind of name is that? For God's sakes. Wow. Blackfire and Darkfire, man. Starfire does not have a good family tree here. Come on, come on. She has an evil sister and an evil brother. Come on, you can't get more obvious than that than Blackfire and Darkfire. Her whole family's too messed up, to be honest. That's fair. That's a fair assessment. Mostly due to the circumstances of her birth. Oh, maybe they'll get into that.
Oh, middle child syndrome. In royalty, no less. That historically turns out really well.
And here it's just as messy. Her elder sister, Commander, seemed ready to become queen. Before she could, a childhood illness crippled her and she lost her birthright. Commander did not take this well. She attempted and failed to kill Cori, resulting in her own banishment.
Did she learn her lesson? Pfft, well, no. Commander allied herself with the Citadel, a ruthless slaver empire that invaded most of their local star system. With her new allies, Space Scar here easily conquered Tamaran. But to ensure peace and the safety of his people, the king, you know, her father, sold off his own baby girl to the Citadel as a slave. Dude, not cool.
Really not cool. Come on, why would you'll surrender your own child to the enemy, dude?
Best dad judges you.
Well, in the king's feeble defense, it was either that or have all his people be taken prisoner. Plus, he likely didn't know what they'd actually do to Corey, as she was tortured and especially abused by Commander and the Citadel for 6 years, until both sisters were kidnapped and experimented on by the sadistic scientist species known as the Scions.
They used both sisters as guinea pigs for their experiments to see how much energy a Tamaranian can absorb before exploding into a pile of alien guts. This particular set of experiments went on for 10 years. Suddenly feeling like hugging my babies right now. 1 minute.
In an ironic twist,
Okay, that was really adorable.
the Citadel invaded to free Commander, and during the ensuing chaos, Coriander was granted strange powers, which she promptly used to free herself and flee to the stars. Soon she arrived on planet Earth, where she had a fateful encounter with the former sidekick of Batman, Robin. After that got sorted, she would find safety and camaraderie with other heroes like Raven, Beast Boy, and Cyborg. These weirdos and goofballs became her family away from home, and she decided to protect Earth under the alias Starfire. Ari, that's your cue.
I was getting baby huggies. Leave me alone.
Your line.
Oh yeah, their parents. They had a child not too long ago. Also, the Teen Titans version of Starfire is actually my favorite version of Starfire because she's just so sweet, cute, and innocent. You know, she's amazing. You know, she's the kind of person I want to live with, to be honest.
The alien Starfire. You know, that's just the English translation of her name, right? Though wouldn't it have been funny if her superhero name was just the Spice Coriander? I mean, she is kind of spicy. Hehe.
Line.
Anyways, over time and with a few adventures under their utility belts, these young underdogs would become known as the Teen Titans. Starfire proved to be an incredible asset to the Titans thanks to her alien physiology. Tamaranians are descended from a feline race. Yeah, really, what are the odds? And they're super strong, super fast, super durable, and can fly through the air.
So Starfire is technically an Echo. Huh. That explains her eyes and her anime look. That's so cool. I love her even more now.
Because of the Scion experiments, she can fire beams of solar energy.
These solar rays are her starbolts. The only good thing to come from those horrific experiments. They can burn as hot as a star and even affect intangible beings. Over time, she learned to expel them from her body in dozens of creative ways, though she seems to favor the simple approaches of firing them through her eyes and from her hands.
She can shape them to use as energy shields, implode them to suck in nearby energy, or even focus all the energy she has into an omnidirectional supernova, which can instantly vaporize people arguably more powerful than she is. However, it's incredibly draining to use, so it's a bit of a desperation move. Starfire is hot, figuratively and very literally, as the flames that
I agree. I totally agree with her. Smash, smash, smash.
from her literal metal melting body can survive in the vacuum of space and last from planet to planet.
Similar to Kryptonians, Tamaranians can absorb energy, specifically ultraviolet radiation, which is nice because our sun gives off plenty of that. Usually after just a few hours of sunbathing, she's in good shape for a few days. While Starfire can absorb other types of energy or radiation to fuel her own abilities, such as solar or electromagnetic, if it's too foreign to what she's used to, then it could exhaust her or put her into a coma.
That said, she adapts to it pretty quickly once she wakes up. She also has some other powers that seem kind of left field, like astral projection, mental resistance, or learning any language by lip contact. That must have made Robin feel so
Oh boy, that was a really funny moment in the film. Trouble in Tokyo is such a good film.
special when he found that out, huh?
Even without her powers, she's deft in both hand-to-hand combat and swordsmanship due to her Tamaranian and Okaran training, as well as sparring with members of the Justice League. She's beaten Wonder Girl a few times, and an already incredibly skilled swordsman couldn't track her. So he ended up losing his hands.
Ooh. After some time, Star proved herself to be a decent leader of the Titans, and why wouldn't she? She's clearly the glue that holds them together, as every time she leaves, no really, every single time, the Teen Titans fall apart. Rekmas indeed.
Yeah.
Oh, I remember that episode. That was so fucking dark. You know, seeing how the Teen Titans fell apart when she went to the future. It was not a pretty sight. It really wasn't.
Starfire often comes across as a naive airhead, but pretty much all her faux pas are caused by simple culture shock. In fact, Star is deceptively clever and has quite a few tactical successes under her belt, even though she's clearly more comfortable deferring to more experienced people's plans rather than making up her own.
Sure, most initiative Corey takes usually boils down to hit it really hard, but when you're tanky enough to survive a blast from Sinar and powerful enough to blast through a ship built to survive supernovas, do you need to be strategic all that often?
She also crashed through a skeletal Trigon skull. Keep in mind, a being with a tenth of his power is easily capable of destroying a universe. She's fought at the level of other DC heavy hitters like Firestorm, several Lantern Corps members, Manhunters, and even held her own against Wonder Woman.
Yeah, the same Wonder Woman that helped pull Earth back into orbit, the same Wonder Woman who regularly outfoxes the tactical genius and god of war Ares, and the same Wonder Woman who deflected every piece of the Shattered God flying across the DC universe.
At minimum, the DC universe is 100 trillion light years across. But more recent calculations put that number at 56.77 nonillion. At the low end, that puts Wonder Woman's speed at 56 quintillion times faster than light.
That is fast. It was so dark with the Nightwing reveal. Yeah. Chef's kiss. Mwah.
At the high end, well, that puts her at, give or take, 1.5 undecillion times the speed of light.
That's 36 zeros, bitches!
So yes, Starfire briefly held her own against that Wonder Woman. Twice! Okay, yes, Diana wasn't going all out in their scuffle, so Star's probably not that fast, especially considering it consistently takes her some time to fly back 26 light years to Tamaran's cosmic neighborhood. But hey, Star can still tag people like Jessie Quick. Sure, she's a lower tier speedster, but she's a lower tier DC speedster. Context matters.
Starfire can survive the equivalent of a Chernobyl meltdown in her face, and could even survive a cosmic storm that was moving the trillions of light years sized DC universe off balance and threatened to create an unprecedented warping in the space-time continuum.
Starfire got knocked around a bit, but she was mostly fine. You can see why it's no surprise that she's often referred to as the strongest Titan. I know Josh was joking at the start, but it really feels like she's the closest we've gotten to a true female Superman, in personality and in powers.
It's a scary thought to think that Starfire can be as strong as Superman. Oof.
Make no mistake, Starfire's capable of godlike feats. Wow, that comic is really on the nose.
They knew what they were doing. They knew what they were doing.
But unfortunately, that power is often turned against her. Plus, Corey's caring heart causes her to both bullheadedly charge into danger and hold back her power, often making her a liability in a team fight. Clever foes can and do take advantage of this, and as a result, she's lost many of her battles. And that's not getting into some of her less appealing outings.
Josh, what in the anatomically borked Liefeld did they do to my baby?
Unfortunately, writing Corey has proven challenging, as she has many traits that are difficult to balance. Many writers have succeeded, but others often lean too heavily on one or the other, leading to flanderization such as New 52 or...
Nope! Out of my house! Give me that!
Yeah, please get that shit out of here. Nobody cares about Teen Titans Go. Teen Titans Go can go to hell. It can go to hell and they can die. For God's sakes, it needs to be buried so deep into the earth that it burns the earth's core. And then we need to blow up the earth. And then we just throw the chunks into the sun. And then we stop the supernova. We have to do all that just to finally get rid of that show because it needs to stay out of our lives once and for all. Whew. Sorry about that. Supergirl at times has been equal, if not stronger, but that's just a fangirl nitpick. uh, they need to do a death battle with Supergirl. I'm still waiting on that.
Not in this studio, Satan!
Hey, I actually had to watch it. You know how many episodes of that there are?
so many butts. Most importantly, Starfire's power has a lot of caveats.
Poor Pirate Joker. He's traumatized now.
For one, while she can fly much faster than light, doing that leaves her so fatigued she'll pass out for days or even weeks. Second, without a consistent source of ultraviolet light, she risks quickly burning through all her stored energy. And thirdly, her powers are connected to her emotional state.
Oh, I do remember that episode. Having both Raven and Starfire, both Raven and Starfire have powers that are both Raven and Starfire have the same power source, emotion. So when they swap bodies, yeah, Raven could not use Starfire's powers at all, while Starfire kind of lost control of Raven's powers right from the start. It's a pretty funny episode. Remember that one episode Robin hit Starfire with a staff so hard that his staff went atom to atom, dust to dust? I hate Teen Titans Go to the core. Hell yeah, me too. So do I. And honestly, I don't remember that. I need to watch the original series at some point.
If she feels driving emotions like joy or righteous fury, her powers often get stronger, even entering a berserker state of extreme strength and nigh invulnerability, allowing her to briefly surpass Donna Troy and Mon-El combined. If she were to feel stifling emotions like despair, fear, confusion, or even feel nothing, her powers greatly weaken.
But that's not really a huge deal, as it's only gotten that bad, never, I think. In fact, her cheerfulness is so indomitable that she achieved the power of a blue lantern, the Lantern Core of Hope. Remember, lantern rings can create light-based constructs from anything in the wielder's imagination. Heck, one time Jon Stewart created a whole solar system with his. Speaking of, whenever a blue lantern is around a green lantern, it unlocks literally the most power in the Lantern Core emotional spectrum. And yeah, Starfire had access to one of those. Until Hal Jordan confiscated the ring, that jerk.
What? Why?
Well, he felt she was too young.
That doesn't sound right. Let me see that. Ari, this is a comic for kindergartners.
And it's canon, it's still Starfire, and that other legally distinct show has taken from weirder sources.
That's metal reference. Also, wow, that's pretty cool that Starfire was actually a Blue Lantern at one point. And earlier we just saw a White Lantern fight.
Ari.
No, you're giving me this. It makes perfect sense. Her own flesh and blood sold her into torture and has tried to kill her on multiple occasions. Even her best friend tried to kill her on her wedding day, and she's still a bright ray of sunshine.
Well, that doesn't necessarily mean that.
Corey has every reason to hate the world, heck, even to destroy it. And you're telling me she's not worthy of being a Blue Lantern when she can look at a heartless bigot who views her as less than nothing and would rather die than be saved by her and still say,
"You may not value my life, but I still value yours."
You know, that right there is the reason why I look up to Starfire anyway, because in that particular episode, that guy you just saw, whose name I forget, I apologize. He was very, very racist. So much so that he actually called Starfire a racial slur, which was Troc. He kept calling her a Troc, which on her planet, yeah, it's a racial slur. And in spite of that, in spite of all that, you saw right there, Starfire was still willing to save his life. I wish a lot of people could be like her. I really do. Hell, that right there is something I embody, to be honest. You know what I mean? I've gone into some drama myself, but no matter what, I can never hate anybody, you know? At all. And I honestly mean that. Yeah, I can be angry at someone, but I will never hate them, you know? And if I was close to them at some point, I will hope to reconcile with them. That's just the kind of person I am, okay?
Yeah, Hal did her dirty.
exactly. Checkmate, bitch.
After taking back her home planet, joining the Justice League, and also raising a family of her own, Starfire would be recognized as a burning glory for those in need. When you see a woman in the sky with hair of burning flame, no evil will fall behind her might and her smile.
Starfire's got this. Starfire has got this. I hate everyone that enjoys my sleep. Sorry, Hydra.
Multiverse theory posits that we are all living in just one variation of countless universes, full of alternate versions of each and every one. In some, I could be a famous football player, or Aramau could like Teen Titans Go.
Horrifying. But in the world of Sonic lies an alternate dimension of our favorite blue hedgehog, the Soul Dimension. It's not that much different. I mean, it even has its own version of the Egghead. Biggest difference is that in this version, Sonic is a purple cat girl princess. Yeah, it's weird that there's two. If I had a nickel for...
She was gonna do the thing. She was just about to do the thing. Come on, why did you interrupt her?
This is Blaze, a descendant of a royal family who have protected their sacred treasure, the Jeweled Scepter, for generations. From birth, Blaze is gifted power over fire, so she can eventually become the guardian of the Jeweled Scepter, as well as the Soul Emeralds, a dimensional counterpart to the Chaos Emeralds.
Too bad she just couldn't actually control her powers like at all. And it kind of made any potential friends shun her, just because she didn't automatically know how to control flames that literally shoot out of her soul. Kids bully each other for the dumbest reasons. Like, can you do it? I don't think so.
Because of that, Blaze would come to see her powers only as a curse.
Honestly, if I had her powers and I was being bullied for them, that would give me enough of an excuse to, set them on fire. But that's just me. That's honestly just me. Just saying.
Coupled with the political duties of princesshood, rife with people lying to her every day, she grew up lonely, mistrustful, and bitter. But everything changed when Eggman came to her dimension and stole the Soul Emeralds. Thanks to her connection to said emeralds, Blaze was able to follow him. She knew what she had to do, retrieve the emeralds she was sworn to protect, and return home.
Unfortunately, a lifetime of isolation and independence made her butt heads with everyone who could possibly help her, like Knuckles, who she chumped and left buried under a pile of rocks. After learning what it truly means to have
Damn. Lucas gets beat up by a cat girl. Aw, Cream, she's so sweet.
friends from Cream, of all people, not Twilight Sparkle, and the blue blur himself knocking a little sense into her, she learned that sometimes it's okay to trust others with the fate of the world.
After Rush, Blaze returned to her home dimension and would find herself encountering Sonic on many more occasions, fighting more villains, making new friends, and becoming a recurring member of the cast. She even became a part of Team Rose.
Ah, replacing the other purple cat. Good call.
Blaze is an Olympic-level athlete and acrobat with
Yeah, nobody cares about Break the Cat. Okay, he's just no. Cream once again showing she's the true hope of Mobius. Yup. Cream is such a sweetheart. I really like her.
uncanny spatial awareness. Over time, she's learned to master her pyrokinetic abilities and use them in conjunction with her physical skills.
She's got all kinds of moves, but most often Blaze uses her flames and ballet-like acrobatics to spin like a fiery Tasmanian devil. She can propel herself with bursts, fly through the air, dash fast enough to create after images, shoot fireballs, and I think she teleported there. Jury's out on that one. Ian Flynn won't return my calls.
This deep connection with flames not only allows her to erase lesser beings of fire, but it allowed her to seal within her the entity known as Iblis, the raw power of the multiversal threat Solaris. This demon burned the entire planet and left it in a state of ruin for 200 years.
Hang on, if she's just from another dimension, how did Blaze manage to be in Silver's apocalyptic far future? Or be a descendant of a well-known historical figure in Mobian history?
Well,
Okay, first of all, that is a good question. How is she and Silver in the same city? Second, I don't think the Black Knight counts because that's an alternate story. In fact, both Black Knight and Secret Rings take place in a book. So that version of Blaze is not the same Blaze. Very simple answer, yes.
several sources assert that Blaze actually originates from the future, but something happens after or during the events of Sonic 06. That something causes Blaze to be reincarnated as the Soul Dimension's princess 200 years before Silver's time. We just don't have confirmation of what that something is yet.
That's actually a really good theory. Maybe she did originate from our world, and after the encounter with Iblis, she got sent to another dimension rather than just straight up being killed. Makes sense.
And if Solaris got erased from time, is Iblis still in her soul or not? Oh, I do not envy the rider who has to untangle this timey-wimey Gordian knot.
Ugh. Anyways, like Sonic, Blaze has access to several different power-ups, such as shields, mind-affecting items like stun or confusion. She also has ring time, which can transform enemies into rings, and when she was teleported to Eggman's amusement park, she had access to 3 specific wisps.
The Cyan laser grants an enormous speed boost and rips through enemies like
Wait, she was in Sonic Colors? I mean, I played Sonic Colors, but I've never played the DS version, so this is actually a genuine surprise for me. Space is warped. Space is warped. His time is bendable. Sonic's multiverse is different yet interconnected with like loops. DS version, I believe. Ah, okay. Man, the Sonic universe is it's just weird.
like paper, the yellow drill can easily move underground, making it great for surprise attacks, and the indigo asteroid reduces everything into rubble within its vicinity.
But even without power-ups, she's managed to keep up with Sonic, who, need we point out, has some insane feats under his belt. Sonic can escape whole dimensions just by running, or defeat villains like Infinite, who can create dimensions that go on infinitely in base form. But one of the biggest would come from Sonic's friends, as they reacted to Solaris' fusion, which conjured a light that consumed the universe in 23 seconds. At minimum, that's 120 quadrillion times faster than light. And that's not even accounting for the fact that Solaris exists in all time, past, present, and future.
And considering Blaze was able to catch Knuckles off guard and fought Sonic to a stalemate, Blaze can keep up with all of that. And even before Sonic met Blaze, he'd fought Emerald, who absorbed enough chaos energy to power the final Egg Blaster. That sucker destroyed a whole constellation.
Considering the distance and gravitational binding of each star, that's worth at least 465 exafo, or
That is a lot. And who's doing this research? Wow. At this point, everyone can catch up with Sonic. Unfortunately.
465 quintillion supernovas. That kind of power can blow up galaxies, or even shake the entire universe.
But her greatest power lies within the gems she was destined to protect, the Soul Emeralds. These debatably sentient jewels are often compared to the Chaos Emeralds, and have similar capacities of unlocking unlimited power.
Basically, they're like Chaos Emeralds, but fiery, and shaped like actual cut emeralds, and tied more to order than chaos, and can warn about upcoming cataclysms. And if you don't know what you're doing with them, they explode in your face. Okay, there's actually quite a few differences, but the overall power level is the same in the ways that actually matter. They also grant Blaze her most powerful transformation, Super Blaze!
Actually, it's Burning Blaze.
Does it matter? It does exactly what Supersonic does with Sonic. It increases their strength, speed, and durability to absurd amounts.
Burning Blaze shot a jet of flame that instantly vaporized a large ship of the
Man, she just fired a flaming Kamehameha wave. That is so metal.
Egg Fleet. Given the vapor point of basic steel, that fire would have to be at least 3,000 to 6,000 degrees Celsius with an explosive pressure of at least 100,000 psi.
For context, that's a fire blast as hot as a red dwarf star delivered with the force of a nuke. And that's the minimum, considering many ships of the fleet can withstand multiple attacks from the multi-solar system power of base Sonic. So this flame was likely hotter than a blue sun with a zetapho of power behind it. She can also smash through meteors moving at... Josh, how fast is she going here?
Well, considering this is happening in a wildly fluctuating dimensional rift where neither time nor space functions properly, as Burning Blaze, her speed is technically immeasurable.
Of course it is. While in the Exception Rift, Supersonic and Burning Blaze fought the Egg Salamander, which had already drained the Chaos and Soul Emerald's energies to power it. The two Eggmans planned to use their powers to collapse and merge Sonic's and Blaze dimensions to form a dream Eggman land that transcends dimensions. Given how smart the guys are, I believe them, especially since those two did the impossible and managed to unleash an attack that actually bypassed Superform invincibility.
And that's not even the craziest part. Before this, Blaze had given up all hope of victory since the Soul Emeralds had been drained of their power. Sonic, who's definitely had this sort of thing happen before, then makes her realize that the Soul Emerald's power comes from special bonds, thus completely recharging the Soul Emeralds.
Wait.
What? You have to listen to that. It's hard for me to make any sense of it. That's just so odd. Okay, that's really odd. My brain is hurting. The brain is hurting.
Are you saying that the power of friendship restored the multiversal strength of the Soul Emeralds? Those ponies really are onto something. Seriously, when did this turn into MLP? And it tracks, as Sonic, Shadow, and Silver superforms were able to fight against Solaris, a superdimensional life form that would consume all existing timelines of all dimensions.
Sonic's superform could also fight the Time Eater, which nearly erased all of time and space of their franchise's cosmology. And even then, all that pales in comparison to defeating the End, which referred to itself as infinite compared to Sonic's past adversaries.
This is the final boss of Sonic Frontiers. I haven't played the game yet. I can get it for like $20. I want to, but still. Power of friendship, baby. Yup. Power of friendship. My Little Pony. Friendship is magic, people. Anyways, oh my god, that reminds me of Igaruga. Why did they decide? Why is that the final boss? Why did the final boss a freaking Iguruka style shooter? Come on.
As well as calling Supersonic something that transcends law and time. And considering Blaze fought Sonic on even grounds, and the Soul Emeralds are comparable to the Chaos Emeralds, she has access to all that power.
Well, most of it anyway. The Soul Emeralds don't seem to have their versions of common Chaos abilities, or if they do, Blaze hasn't used them yet. That's kind of weird. We've seen Chaos Control with the Chaos Emeralds and Chronos Control using a Time Stone. Shouldn't there be like a Soul Control?
Theoretically, yes, but either Blaze doesn't know that the technique exists, or it doesn't exist at all because it hasn't been shown yet.
Really? That sort of idea just writes itself. You'd think they'd jump on that.
Agreed, but as it stands, the Soul Dimension is a place we unfortunately don't know that much about, and the stuff we do know is pretty limited. For instance, the Jeweled Scepter that Blaze guards apparently contains more power than the Chaos and Soul Emeralds, but we've seen so little of it we don't know what it's fully capable of. We do know a bit about Blaze though, both her strengths and weaknesses.
Yeah, Blaze is more emotionally stable and works better with a team nowadays, but she can fall back into old habits when no one's around to offer a second opinion. Still a far cry from how she used to act, or in the Archie comics, like, "Cheese, princess, who's spitting your morning tea?"
Well, she is a princess. Of course, she's gonna act a little spoiled every once in a while. To jump on it, they have to give Blaze more screen time. Yep. Sadly, she doesn't. In fact, I think she's been given so little screen time, at least in canon, that she's just very underrated. We need more. We need more games with Blaze. Hell, we need more games with Silver. Come on, give us more Silver.
Also, like the other super forms in the series, the god-slaying, dimension-shattering, burning Blaze transformation does have a time limit and isn't truly invincible. Hit her really, really hard and you can stun her or knock her back. Though one of her biggest weaknesses is a rather odd one. She has a fear of heights.
Wait, seriously? But she's fighting in space! That's like a bajillion feet in the air!
You know what? You know what? That does make sense because how often do you hear stories about cats getting stuck in the tree, or in one case, on top of a freaking light post? Yeah, makes sense to me. Give me some of the headshot, you cowards. Take it, Goldie. At least you agree with me.
How could you be afraid after that?
Well, it likely took a lot of mental discipline to overcome, because as long as she focuses on ignoring how high she is, her acrophobia isn't triggered.
So wait, she runs on a souped-up version of Don't Look Down?
Yeah, pretty much.
Ah, so it's like Sonic and his hatred of water. I know she's supposed to be the alternate universe Sonic, but the only things she seems to have in common with him are that they're both brave, confident, speedy heroes. They're so different, yet weirdly similar.
Well, it's more than just that. Everything about Blaze and Sonic make them perfect foils. The Soul and Chaos Emeralds that they're respectively connected to are described like North and South poles, seemingly opposed yet essential to each other's existence. Blaze, embodying the flame, is complemented by Sonic, the embodiment of wind, whose oxygen fuels the fire. Blaze is a disciplined, solemn royal with a serious attitude, contrasting Sonic, a spontaneous, free-spirited, and fun-loving vagrant. Even their combat styles and transformations, Blaze's balletic grace versus Sonic's breakdance-like fluidity, Burning Blaze's red and yellow versus Supersonic's yellow and red. They're opposites, but not in opposition. Like yin and yang, it's a perfect parallel harmony.
Well, that info dump just blew my mind. But that does make sense. I mean, they are from different dimensions that parallel each other, so it would make sense that Sonic and Blaze are two halves of the same coin.
Anti-Blaze would be kind of likewise very reckless and bold and in your face.
So almost like Sonic, but cranked up to 11.
Wow, they really put a lot of thought into this. Blaze tries to give off that air of the stoic, duty-bound royal, but deep down, she's just a burned soul who wants to give this whole friendship thing a genuine shot. As long as she lives, Blaze will protect the emeralds, her dimension, and her new friends at any cost, even her own life.
After hearing both sides of this, Sonic Blaze whole thing is so cool. It really is. You know, that's why we need more Blaze. We need more Silver too. After listening to both sides of this, I'm still going to give it to Starfire because her feats is just much grander than what they show with Blaze here. So, all right, let's do this.
And that's it for the evidence. Before we get started, what do the fans think about this matchup?
Well, according to their votes,
I actually put up a couple of polls. Yeah. Everyone's giving it to Starfire, so everybody agrees. It's almost unanimous. Look at this. The predictions say Starfire will win by a landslide. Holy wow. Let's see if they're correct.
It appears the people believe Starfire is going to handily win this.
Oh, wow. Well, let's see what the fighters have to say about it.
It's time for a legally distinct battle to the death! I'm working on it!
I mean, they can't just say straight as death battle because they can get sued for that. Or copyrighted or some shit, I don't know. Starfire's energy consumption is going to be what determines this. If she can adapt to Blaze's fire, she wins hands down. Well, let's see if that happens.
Nightwing, I'm having none of the luck finding the jewel thief.
Just keep looking, Starfire. They couldn't have got him far. Try retracing your steps. Nightwing out.
Finally, now I can leave this strange dimension.
I have found you, thief of the red jewel. Return what you have stolen, or...
Oh my god, that is so Starfire. Oh wow.
We are going to be the greatest of friends! We shall celebrate Blowdog together, and I will order the mustard with...
Wait, what kind of mustard? What kind of mustard do you order for a special occasion? That makes no sense to me.
Don't you dare touch me again!
Okay, we don't have to be friends, but you must hand over that jewel.
I am the guardian of these emeralds, and I will not let you take them!
Okay, that's one hell of a way to start a fight right there. And listen to the music, it just kicks so much ass! Boy, it looks like Starfire's about to get drilled. Why can't I be the one to drill her? Gah.
Oh no! Too high! Too high!
Ah, great. Her acrophobia got triggered. Yeah, I'm starting to lose hope for Blaze even more now.
I am sorry to disappoint you, but I am stronger than I look.
So, you like to play with fire? Then let's play!
Burning Blaze is here. Shit just got real. I know what I said, Goldie. You heard right.
Don't you dare to give up, Starfire!
We believe in you.
Oh my god, this is so cinematic. As far as the presentation goes, this is arguably as good, if not better, than Death Battles. And look at that, even the Teen Titans backing her up. In spirit, of course. But who's the white one? That can't be Starfire. Unless that's like her inner confidence or some shit. I don't know.
Starfire? Starfire, can you hear me?
Corey!
In fearful day, in raging night, with strong hearts full, our souls ignite. When all seems lost, in the war of light. Oh no, we don't! Look to the stars, for hope burns bright!
Oh shit! Starfire busted out the Blue Lantern. That's Wonder Girl Donna Troy. What? Who? The voice actress? They did in the previews. They did announce who's voicing this character. So if you want, I can show you who they are. And I really like how this goes more into their personalities and emotional side than the death battles. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. And keep in mind, this was crowdfunded. This was crowdfunded. They've been hyping this up for a whole damn month. The lead figure in white in the motivation scene. I mean, oh, that's what it was. Okay. Oh, thank you for telling me, Goldie. Man, my God, Goldie, you're a big DC fan. You and me, we should hang out more. Okay, suddenly it turned into BDSM.
We could have been friends, but you chose this.
Giving up already? Come on, Blaze. I thought you were stronger than that.
Yeah, they did it for Blaze too. Wow. Now this is cinema. Damn, I was so locked into this fight. I didn't even realize they broke the dimensions. Holy wow. BDSM first. Hey, Brime. How you doing, buddy? Hey, how was the stream? I saw you were live earlier. Right before I went live. Had to leave for work. Aw. Are you back home now? Hope you're relaxing. Anyways, just relax and watch this battle to the death, which is getting fucking intense. Holy wow. I'm loving this. This is incredible. Right, Goldie? This really is incredible. This was worth the wait. They've been hyping this up for a whole month. This was crowdfunded, by the way. Okay? This was crowdfunded. And they've been hyping it up for a whole month. I know I'm repeating myself, but yeah, they've been working on this for a long time. And it was worth the wait. It was worth the fucking wait.
No more!
No! I won't fall here! Not when my friend needs me!
How is she this powerful? Wait, that energy. Maybe I can.
How? He's dodging that!
Yes! I can absorb
He's absorbing it! He's absorbing Blaze's powers! Oh, Blaze is cooked now!
it. What's going on? No!
Holy fuck, I think it was too much. Wonder what happened to Death Battle after Rooster Teeth shut down. Thank you for the shout out. Rooster Teeth, Death Battles became independent. They're still going. I actually reacted to their most recent episodes, including the new one that just came out today. So, Death Battle's doing really good for themselves. They've gone independent. They're now more crowdfunded, so they're doing good for themselves.
How could she have absorbed the Soul Emerald's power? It's impossible unless... she's like me. Which means... I can stop this!
Hope. I have hope there is another time and place where we are Friends.
Strangely, I hope so too.
Okay, that ending was a tearjerker. I'm actually choking up. But what the? Blaze won this? Explain yourself, people. Explain yourself. Have you watched Bat in the Sun? No, I have not. Beautiful? Yes, it was. Like I said, this was worth the wait. Oh, boy. And like I said, this channel normally does not do this. This is actually the first episode of the series. It's like Death Battle live action. Oh, no, I have not. Thank you for bringing it up. I knew it would come down to energy consumption. It did. It really did. So, let's hear the results. But it's both poll-based. Oh, okay. That's interesting.
And this is why you shouldn't try to hug cats. But wow, that fight was nuts. Are both of them actually capable of all that?
Well, yes. While Blaze had more advantages in the fight overall, these two were equal in a surprising amount of ways.
Their skills and power sets bounce so well off each other that this was honestly pretty tricky to figure out. So let's go through the relevant categories one by one. How do they fare in the speed department?
Both combatants hail from universes known for their insane speed feats, but Starfire consistently struggles to keep up with higher tier DC fighters. Even if we highball her interstellar travel feats, she can't keep up with Blaze's teleportation, outspeeding Knuckles, or moving in spaces unbound by time. In fact, Starfire's best showing of speed comes from Teen Titans Go.
We're not kidding.
No. That should not be canon. That should not be canon. Why are they including it? That should not be canon. IP's Clash. Oh, I'll check it out. Prime. Send me a link to their channel.
Apparently this Starfire did jumping jacks so fast that she nearly disrupted the space-time continuum. However, she wasn't fully in control and was able to hear Robin telling her to stop, which means she wasn't fully out of sync with the normal flow of time. The fairest interpretation is that she approached immeasurable speed but didn't quite reach it.
Even if she did, Blaze has multiple feats of directly achieving immeasurable speed on her own and scaling to it via Sonic. Even with the small boost from the Blue Lantern ring, Starfire can't reliably compete with Burning Blaze.
Sure, Starfire's managed to hit one or two DC characters who could supposedly achieve immeasurable speed, but they clearly weren't going their fastest during these incidents. Admittedly, comparing any two fighters' immeasurable speed feats does get into weird and cerebral territory. While our combatants are in the same ballpark, Blaze just has more consistently high showings, and she doesn't need a multi-week nap after going that fast. Point for Blaze.
Both Blaze
Of course, Blaze will get the speed advantage. I mean, she does love the Sonic universe after all. It's great. It's too long. Hey, it was so awesome to watch.
and Starfire have surprising similarities when it comes to battle instincts and strategic thinking. They often defer to their teammates for plans, but both have shown they can cleverly think around a problem when needed. Both also have tempers that can create openings for their opponents. But that's where the similarities end, and Starfire demonstrates her clear advantage.
While Blaze has taken steps to mitigate her acrophobia, if she's caught off guard, her concentration can waver and cause her to get blindsided more easily. Also, Blaze's techniques and fighting style are extremely telegraphed and showy, making them quite predictable compared to Starfire. While Blaze has trained for years to be the Soul Emerald's guardian, that was mostly done on her own. Corey has formal combat training with the Okarans, on top of years scrimmaging with the team to prepare for anything related to battle. Point for Starfire.
Makes sense to me.
Experience isn't as cut and dry as you might think. Starfire has many more examples of fighting dozens of
Whoa, check out those abs.
diverse, multiversal level enemies, whereas with Blaze, you can count those types of foes on one hand. That we've seen anyway. However, when it comes to comparing their win-loss records, Corey comes up a bit short.
But hold on, there's nuance to this. Yes, Starfire loses all the time, and that's really annoying from a narrative standpoint, and from a fan standpoint. But look at the people she loses to. People like Orion, Mongol, and Wonder Woman. She got her teeth kicked in, sure, but the fact that she fought them and didn't die should not be discounted.
Yeah, to say that Blaze is more experienced based on that would just be disingenuous. Plus, Corey has fought plenty of foes like Blaze. Vice versa, not so much, but she still faced a pretty significant number of foes. Tough call, but Starfire gets a slight edge here.
In fact, Starfire had a lot of natural counters to Blaze's extra arsenal. Her powerful mental resistance could resist the confusion and stun items, and even though the Indigo Wisp could easily nullify her starbolts, Corey's insane durability would allow her to resist being turned into mulch.
While the Blue Lantern Ring could potentially heal Starfire or supercharge her regular powers with a surge of positive emotion like hope, a Blue Lantern's usual augmentations are severely hampered in a mono-e-mono fight like this because it requires a Green Lantern Ring in close proximity to reach its full potential. Without that, the most it's able to provide is a small power boost and simple energy constructs.
And while Starfire's no slouch with strategy or creativity, we don't know how effective she'd actually be using those constructs without a lot of speculation. Thanks, Hal. Ultimately, the Soul Emeralds gave Blaze an edge that Starfire didn't really have an answer to except for maybe one, her absorption ability.
Starfire has managed to absorb several unusual kinds of energy, but it has its limitations. She can't absorb her own starbolts, and despite her name and that it's literally coming off her hair, Starfire has actually never been shown to absorb fire. Yes, fire can sometimes emit ultraviolet light, but that very much depends on the fuel source. And considering that Blaze's flames are red and they shoot out of her soul, it's unlikely Starfire would be able to absorb ultraviolet energy from them, or the energy of the Soul Emeralds, which are tied to that element.
Even assuming, arguendo, that Starfire can absorb the Soul Emerald's energy, there was way too much that could go wrong from that. Star could fall unconscious from the foreignness of the energy, or explode from the sheer amount of multiversal power, or the Soul Emeralds refusing to play nice. Blaze, on the other hand, could just quickly dip into another dimension for a safe recharge. Or, since Starfire and Blaze are so similar, given that Blaze was able to seal Iblis within her based on merely a connection to flames, it's almost 100% likely that Blaze would just seal Starfire away within her own soul, immediately, and anticlimactically, ending the fight.
Oh, it actually gets worse for Starfire. While she has strong resistance to mental manipulation, Starfire has consistently shown no resistances to spiritual or physical manipulation, including transmutation, meaning Blaze could just use ring time to turn Starfire into a ring. Yeah, I know, it's underwhelming, but Blaze has far too many achievable ways to debilitate Starfire or instantly end the fight.
And that's exactly what happened during the fight earlier. She attempted to absorb all that power, and she went supernova. And did not survive.
Several of which she doesn't need to be in Burning Blaze form to accomplish.
But hold on again, there's nuance to this one too. While Blaze has these abilities, they aren't her preferred options. She usually relies on brute force, with strategic thinking as a backup plan. It might take time for her to realize that she needs her more obscure powers to pull out the win, which could favor Starfire. Except Starfire shares a similar approach. Additionally, Blaze has shown increasing willingness to adapt and use her other abilities to buy time when needed. Blaze takes a strong edge in abilities.
But assuming Blaze doesn't get any chances to instantly end the fight, can she actually overpower Starfire?
Well, let's take a look at both our combatants' most cited stalemates. While Sonic and Blaze can be comfortably put on the same level, Corey and Diana can't. Not only was Corey on the back foot with Wonder Girl's help, Diana was holding back and was about to cut loose before they were interrupted.
Apparently there's a Wonder Girl and a Wonder Woman. Never heard of Wonder Girl, though. That's a new one on me, though. That's a new one on me.
Against a serious Wonder Woman, Starfire's gonna lose. Hard.
And she has. You see that clip right there? That's in the movie it's Justice League vs. Teen Titans, which I did see. I did watch it. At one point, the Justice League get possessed by Trigon. All except for Batman, of course, because Batman knocked himself out before the possession took over. The Teen Titans got annihilated. It was a one-sided fight. And yes, as you saw right there, Starfire did get her ass handed to her by a possessed Wonder Woman. There's been a couple of Wonder Girls, and their origins can get confusing. Yeah, I don't feel like blowing my head up, so yeah. Don't make my head explode today.
Which is so not fair.
Starfire's incredible strength and durability varies greatly due to a multitude of factors, so her stats are tricky to lock down. The time Starfire held her own against other high-powered characters in the DC universe, such as Sinestro, Firestorm, or hell, even Superman, this is often due to unusual circumstances, such as her opponents holding back immensely, or they were weakened, subdued, or distracted by other fighters. Whether on her own or on a team, she's lost a fair few times against weaker characters in her universe.
But to be fair, that's usually because Starfire holds back too, and because 50 years of writers are always on the same page. Sure, Starfire's scaling is different since most of her feats involve losing, but even downscaling from those losses still likely put her at multiversal. In fact, a relatively safe scaling chain through Connor Kent, a weakened Superboy Prime, and a weakened Anti-Monitor puts her near infinite multiverse. Close, though not quite. Can Blaze actually top that?
Turns out, she can. While we don't see much of Burning Blaze, it is shown to be directly comparable to Supersonic, which is on a ridiculous level of power. Emerald Superforms have defeated superdimensional gods, which could erase all timelines and dimensions in the infinite sonic cosmology. Twice! Or foes who could create infinite dimensions. Heck, Blaze was able to directly defeat guys who could create dimensions transcending dimensions. Twice!
Even though he needed some help, Sonic could still defeat the End, a being claiming to be infinite compared to all of Sonic's adversaries, including Solaris and the Time Eater. Even if we don't take the End at its word, it's kind of a biased source, Burning Blaze still matches the tier of infinite multiverse versus Starfire's at best almost infinite multiverse. In a cosmic sort of way, one is technically bigger than the other.
If the End wasn't just gassing itself up, then that would make a single Chaos Emerald Superform, which, again, a Soul Emerald Superform matches, at minimum, more powerful than several infinities combined.
Okay, this is a bit of a stretch. Okay, this is actually a bit of a stretch. I mean, even though they have the evidence right there, still, that is still a really big stretch. Are you sure Batman isn't possessed because he knocked himself out instead of he's Batman? Well, the thing is, before everybody got possessed by Trigon, Batman pulled out a sedative that was so strong that it was intended for Bane. Yeah, Bane, the juiced up steroid monster. And he used it on himself so he wouldn't get possessed.
And all of this is just from the video games. If we calculated her power using feats from the Archie comics,
it would bump Blaze up in power, but it would actually be an overall downgrade. It didn't showcase anything on the level of Supersonic's reality warping feats, despite them technically being capable of the same things. Archie Blaze's fire also requires oxygen, unlike Game Blaze, whose fire can burn underwater. She also loses a lot to really weak enemies.
That said, the Jeweled Scepter got a significant power boost as it actually protected her dimension from the Super Genesis wave, literally rewriting their infinite multiverse's reality. So there's that, I guess.
Either way, it doesn't really matter. Blaze takes this one too. Maybe we're totally off our rockers and underestimating Starfire's power, especially with the Blue Lantern Rings boost. I'm very much on that side. But even then, it wouldn't change anything because she still can't outspeed Blaze or counter all of her win conditions. We were honestly expecting the result to be the other way around, especially me, considering Corey is Flame Princess Superman and Blaze is Flame Princess Sonic.
Almost. While Blaze is on...
This is a bit of bias from the wife here. False. Trigon is a guy with a Trigon. No, I said Trigon. Also, hey cousin, how you doing? Trigon. Trigon, not Trigun. That's a different guy altogether. Although I do want to see Bash Stampede in the death battle. I'll be honest with you guys. In fact, how's this for a matchup? Bash Stampede versus Albert Wesker. Now that would be a matchup worth seeing. I mean, think about it. I mean, they do have common ground. They wear trench coats. They use guns. They wear sunglasses, and they were genetically altered to be badasses. In other words, they were made in a tube. It's fair. I'd probably be the same way with Supergirl. Is this a different set of hosts or a different channel? It's a different channel altogether. In fact, this is from Josh Scorcher. He and his wife are like big fans of Death Battle, so much so that they decided to start their own series similar to Death Battles. But he normally does not do this. His channel is usually like top 10 lists and Pokemon stuff. But you know what? Even though this was crowdfunded and took months to make, it was still worth the wait.
On par with Sonic in their narrative, in pretty much every DC continuity, Starfire isn't on par with Superman. She says so herself. In fact, Starfire has openly admitted multiversal and/or godlike entities like Sinar, the Demiurge, and Darkseid are out of her league and should be handled by others such as Superman or the Green Lantern Corps. That's not to say she's weak, far from it. She's just a relatively small fish in a really big pond.
Starfire's feats place her near Blaze's power level at the very least, but not enough to significantly overpower her or scale that high in the DC hierarchy. Has Star fought characters on that level? Absolutely. But does she scale high enough and reliably enough to make a difference against Blaze and overcome her abilities? Almost, but no.
In the end, Blaze's multiple paths to victory and more reliable power set edged out Starfire's formidable physiology and breadth of experience.
Some stars fade, but at least Corey went out in a blaze of glory.
The winner is Blaze the Cat.
Did she just pull a boomstick with puns? Come on! I know this show was inspired by Death Battles, but you don't have to straight up copy them.
Miss, are you well?
What?
It is all.
What the hell? Hey, it's the Starfire that we all know and love. Now this is the version that we wanted to see. But oh my god, they have a post-credit scene. This is so cool. Yeah, they have an epilogue.
Right. You are with a friendly face.
You... What?
Yeah, I'll go fix it.
Raven totally can. She can totally fix interdimensional tears.
You fell out of that rift in dimensions. Whoever your opponent was, they did not survive.
I see. The Soul Emeralds are missing again. I must find them immediately.
Oh, would you like the help in...
I don't need...
Aw, come on. Don't be mad at that face. She's so adorable. That's honestly really cool. I know, right?
Actually, yes. I would be thankful for your aid.
Wonderful! I truly hope we can be the best of friends.
How do I always attract these types?
Aw. That is honestly the most wholesome ending I've ever seen. Damn, I'm tearing up inside. This is really, I know, right? But Death Battles, you gotta understand though, Death Battle has to release an episode every 3 weeks or so. Every 2 or 3 weeks. So yeah, you can imagine that they had to cut some corners to meet those deadlines. Um these guys, they had no deadlines. They had that mentality of it's ready, well, it's ready when it's ready, and I'm glad they do, because look at this. Look at all this. Well, I'm skipping for a reason. See, right there. Right there is proof that this show was inspired by Death Battles. Ken Sager and Chad James, they are Wizard and Boosted, respectively. And this is good, It's good that Death Battles inspired others to do this, Oh, absolutely. Death Battle is still great, and I'm glad it can inspire other things to be as great, if not greater. I know, right? Satisfactory answer to the matchup. Please be gentle. Oh yeah, because they are gonna have a bunch of haters coming after them. But yeah, honestly, I was satisfied by this. Though I am bummed that the Starfire lost, it was still that was quite the cinema right there that we witnessed. That was awesome. And there's a YouTuber named Brandon Yates. He normally does music for Death Battles. Like, how all the matches had their own unique songs? Yeah, they actually commissioned um Brandon Yates to do the music for this episode. And I highly recommend you guys look it up. It's It's a really cool song. Wait, next time they're gonna turn this into a full blown series? Oh, let's see. The Dawn versus Undyne. I have no opinion on this because I have no idea who these guys are. I know Sedan's from the Zelda series. I think it comes from Breath of the Wild. But and Undyne comes from Undertale. I've never played Undertale, so honestly, I don't know who these guys are. I have no opinion on this. But when the episode does come out, though, I will watch it. Though I will watch it and I will react to it. I will react to it for you guys. It made perfect sense to me, and both of them put up an incredible performance. Yep. Looks like I'm watching Sedan die. Oh, I see you. I see you're familiar with Undertale. All right. Well, my overall thoughts on this: awesome, just pure awesomeness, and arguably they did a much better job in Death Battles. But in Death Battles' defense, they have deadlines to meet. Okay, they have to pump out an episode every 2 weeks, every 3 weeks, and Josh Scorcher, he's pumping out an episode whenever they're ready. So they're really putting in a lot of effort, and they want to make sure that it is as perfect as it can get. So um yeah, so overall, loved it. Absolutely loved it. Worth the wait. I'm so glad I got crowdfunded.
Oh,